Going live. It appears to be actually going live now. It says I'm live. Woot woot. Please stand by. No, not stand by. Is it showing up? Okay. I don't know either, but it's working. That's what matters.
Oh, we're live.
It's live. Anyways. Woot woot. We got the woot woot. Just takes a second because I wasn't actually sure if anyone was going to hear the woot woot because it still says please stand by, but they said it's live in the other room, so I'll go with that. Yeah, smash that like button. I got 9 likes and 57 viewers. Woohoo! It's fun stuff. Today is fun. Actually, let me plug my phone in. Screw it, we're doing it live. I feel that way every time I do this. That clip like pops in my head every time I click the live button consistently. There are so many notifications on my phone. This is ridiculous. Wow. Are they any of them important? Money, 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 money. Good news is money coming this way. All right, let me clear all these and turn this off because I don't want to hear it no more. Ooh, I think I got a message from our friends at Crosstalk Solutions. Hold on. Did Chris message me? Oh, someone's tagging me and stuff. Neat. Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna share this tweet. This is funny. I'll drag it over here. This is what someone tagged me in. I'll share. It's a modern piece of art. Someone has this on eBay right now. Apparently, it's a slightly used UniFi switch. That's cool. Or not cool. Maybe really, really not cool. Anyways. There's a story when a switch looks like this. That is for sure. Let's find it on eBay now. Now I'm on a 250 watt managed PoE. Let's look at the description again. This is a US 2425W. So US-24-25W. Please tell me it's still on here. Well, you should probably sort by price. It's gonna undoubtedly be the lowest price one, right? Well, definitely used. We'll sort by that. And then we'll best match. We'll say price shipping lowest first. Oh man, why isn't it showing up? This is disappointing. I think it may have already been done. Listing on eBay right now, a slightly used 250 watt switch, $304. Unit test fine. That's my favorite part. Unit test fine. That is just so bent. Let's see. What do we have here? All kinds of people. Hello from the flood. Where's it flooding? I hope it's not flooding here. It's actually beautiful out here. Is that a new it's a new compact switch. I'm gonna go with that's nice. Too bad DIY Tech did not leave the listing in there. Anyone have something snarky I should reply on there? Oh, it's flooding in Houston. I didn't know that. Second one on your eBay search has the same price. Is it this one? Someone's paying way better attention to me. Why has it got Chinese rating all over it? There we go. Look at that beauty. Let me get my head out of the way so you guys can inspect its full glory. Slightly used. Wow. Well, here's the thing. I have a review of these switches, and I don't think there's anything in that corner. So it actually should work. I would want more off, and I would like an opened up price. Look at that. That console cable looks sad. Yeah, warranty it. Right. UniFi be like, what? No. You have physically abused this product in some way. I'm impressed. If it was like $50, I'd buy it. I wouldn't say $300. That seems ridiculous for this. Thanks on the last patch breach, absolutely. What did I say we're going to do today? Virtual machines, new lab coming along, maybe some money talk. Yeah, I'm a little out of it still. We're working internally to restructure things so I can have more free time, and it's not going fast to get this done. So that's definitely a problem. But that's always the thing. Yeah, so the 200 of them, I mean, it's actually good that it didn't find anything, and that's kind of the good and bad of it. It's like, I really hate paying insurance every month, but I'm kind of happy when I need to make a claim that it's there. So that's how I feel about Huntress. Like, it is disappointing sometimes you don't find anything, but it also means, like, it's good that we didn't find anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a horrible thing, not finding anything. That means you're not compromised, that you don't have some indicators of compromise. So it's not bad not finding anything, but it kind of feels like you're spending money and you're not getting value for it. I understand the feeling you get with Huntress Labs, or a lot of these products. Run this antivirus scan every day. It never blocked anything. This person really needs to get busy clicking on stuff so we can prove its value, prove it's actually doing a thing. No, I get it from a feeling standpoint. So, what are you gonna do? We're gonna download Parrot. I think that was on my to-do list. What is their latest website? Is it Parrot Sec? Oh, look, download. Parrot security. We want the security. This is among the things I wanted to get done today. I want to get a lot of things done, but this is definitely on that list. So I think we'll go with interface mate. Oh, we have an OVA version. Cancel. Why is it bigger? I'll just download this one. This one's fine. Anyways, I'm going to be creating, and I still use, for those wondering, VirtualBox. So here is VirtualBox, which has Tails in it right now, which I think I've done a couple of videos on Tails. This is actually for a client. For those of you that don't know, and I think I may have talked about this, for one of the reasons I use VirtualBox is when clients need things done, I create virtual machines for them in particular to get something done. So I will create a virtual machine until the project's over, and then when the project's over, I purge out virtual machine. It is because there's certain things they need that I needed Windows for to make something work. So in Windows, I don't like installing anything on my nice clean virtual machine, so I create special ones just for that. Yeah, but it's just solid process to have VirtualBox be able to spin something up and go, here we go, let's get this rocked out and, have something on there. So actually we get rid of Tails. I don't need that anymore. So we will remove Tails, delete all files. We are going to create a new VM because we're going to use this Parrot when we're done. Same use case, yes. It's a simple way to do things, and it just does the job. What else we have here? Looking to build a PF SenseBox in the near future. Your videos give me courage. Go ahead with it. Great deal. Minute build a PC. Yeah, it all depends. I mean, when it comes to using used hardware to build that, it just works. It's the same thing with FreeNAS. I do like the FreeNAS boxes, but if you want to build and tinker with something, it's, you want to do something custom, absolutely. There's an opportunity to do that there. Australia, the land down under. So, yeah. How many? 1 minute? 1 minute remaining? By the way, let's talk about this real quick. So let's pull this up. All the drives in my computer. I've went full, this is an NVMe, this is an NVMe. We moved everything in my system to NVMe. So I'm 100% because my board has dual NVMEs on it, and we kind of said, why do we have any spinning drives in this thing at all? And I'm going to do a review on this. Let me go to our Amazon here. I should order another one right now. Where'd it go? We ordered a lot of stuff. First, I did that. I ordered that. And where'd that other thing go? There it is. These ad links, I have one on my computer. These things are really fast. These are great. We got to add them. We're going to do a review of this, but I mean, they're not joking. This is a really fast M2 SSD. I put one on my computer. My boot drive is not this, but it's as fast as they claim. It's a really, for an off-brand, I'm impressed with it. This is my secondary drive, and then I bought one of these, and these are pretty cool too. These are little ruggedized SanDisks, and what I was doing is comparing the speed. Now these claim 550. I'm not getting quite 550 out of it, and I don't know why, but I have another little thing that we bought. I have to find it, but it's a USB 3.1 NVMe. And you combine these two things together, you have something actually cheaper than a SanDisk. This is $169. This is only $114 for 1 terabyte and $28 for the little part. I'm going to do a review of it. So definitely a interesting setup for doing these. I like the silly graphics that they have with it, and everything else is cool too. Am I going back to Pop! OS on my new laptop? Absolutely. And the reason why, video editing. Video editing is not great in Parrot, but what I'm doing is putting Parrot back in a virtual machine, which is why I'm downloading it. I need Parrot on my laptop, but I'll actually build the virtual machine here on this particular desktop. So I'll build it here, get it all configured and set up on this computer. Well, hell, we'll sit and do this while I'm doing the video. And once it's all configured and set up here, then I will pivot over and just export it over to my laptop. That way all the heavy lifting can be done by my 3900X that I'm running here, which... actually, let's do this. Oops. I got it. Hey, if you're on the forums, they're about to reboot. There, I notified everyone. I hope. We'll check the forums in a second. But this has so many processors, so many cores in it. And so this is where I'll be loading and getting everything set up. So it's definitely, you know, this is the workhorse to get things done. But once I'm done and have all the configuration, and I have like some of the things I want set up and configured that are processor or in a lot heavy on the processor, I should say intensive, I can just take and export that file right over in VirtualBox to my laptop. No big deal. And because I'm using like, you know, NVMe to do this, to move things around, makes it real easy. So that's doing that. Let's see, where's our download at? How's that coming along here? Oh, look, it's done. So now this is a Parrot security here. What do we got? We'll open up another window. We'll drag it over. Here's all the ISO files where I keep them. And this is 4.2 gigs. We'll cut. Paste. That is amazing. 4.2 gigs just moved in just a blink. So it's kind of cool how fast that works. I'm always impressed with it. Let's see here. Some clients don't require a controller, one-time setup. Trying to follow what you guys are saying over here. Ever set up a subdomain and point to a dynamic end entry for VPN use of pfSense? You can use fully qualified domain names for pfSense for VPN, so that would allow it to be dynamic. So that may help. Hey Tom, do you know if I can set up a free PBX behind a carrier grade NAT? Why not? I've never tried, but probably. And for those of you not familiar, and carrier grade NAT's kind of weird, so let's type it in. I forget the RFC spec for it. Carrier grade NAT ranges. Carrier grade NAT, also known as large scale NAT or LSN, is an approach to IPv4 networks which in which end sites, in particular residential networks, are configured with private network addresses that are translated through the public IPv4. It's a different set of ranges for there. And it's newer. I don't see why you couldn't do it. I don't know. I've never tried, so not sure. It should work in theory. It's still routes as long as it's not something blocked. And when it comes to the way free, what are you looking? Any of these tools like FreeNAS or any of those, it should work. Or FreePBX should work. It's because as long as the protocol can route, it should do the job. Setting up my development web server using Ubuntu, SQL, PHP, Mammon, Samba sharing folder. Awesome. Hello from the UK. Hello. Fish and chips. That's what I think of because I'm kind of hungry. The NAT sucks, but okay. Yeah, I mean, it should work ideally. I don't know why it wouldn't. Anyways, so now that we got Parrot downloaded, let's go create a virtual spot to put all this. Actually, did the forums reboot? Let's, whoops. See if our forums are working. They appear to be. New kernel update. Let me make sure that the forum's booted properly. So the only thing it needs to reboot for is when there's a kernel update. So forums are working. Awesome. Exit out of there. Germany. Awesome. Close. Build ourselves a new virtual machine. Add. I don't add virtual machines. I had to stare for a second to figure out where that was. Oops. New, not add. Parrot sec. It's going to be Linux. Oracle. It's technically built on Debian, so we'll put Debian in there. Next. Oh, I would say 4 gigs of RAM. That sounds reasonable. And 4092. Create a new disk. Use a that sounds good. New virtual hard drive. VDI. Sure. Dynamic. Definitely. I would say 60 gigs. We'll make it 80 just in case. It's dynamic. I don't think it's actually going to get that big. All right. Settings. Storage. Choose wisely. You notice I have Kali on here too. That's on my to-do list. We're setting up a Kali VM for Xavier. So there's this one. ID master secondary. Audio. I guess we'll leave it in. NAT. That's fine for what we're doing. We're going to leave it in NAT. Optical, yes. Floppy, no. Processor. Gotta have some cores. Gotta have at least 12 of them over here. I don't think that any of that. Display. This looks good. I'm not worried about that. Not worried about video recording. And we'll, like I said, we'll leave it NAT for now, and I'm not worried about mapping any data into it. Fire it up. Terminal, failsafe. Yeah, we'll do live mode. If you have a problem with a Linux machine and dirty shutdowns, you have the wrong Linux machine. I don't see them ever as having problems from random shutdowns, to be honest with you. I mean, if they're 20 years old, yes. If they're built on old ext2 file systems, yes, they have problems. But any modern Linux distro does not have any problem being shut down. It's not been a problem I've seen, at least. I can prove it by randomly shutting down the system, but it's, like I said, it's not something I really ever see a problem with. Where's the installer? Is it in here? Install Parrot. You can tell this machine is nice and fast, so this is going to go really good. I don't feel like learning KVM. I like this. It works. That's kind of my feeling on it. It's all those ain't broke, don't fix it. There's nothing that KVM, I don't think it's bad. I don't have any compelling reason that I should take the time to go learn it. Why did the installer not go? System tools. There we go. Maybe. It looks like it's doing something. I've had Parrot uses cutting edge. Do you not file hash checking when you're downloading? Yeah, I did earlier when I checked it, and then I downloaded, because I was going to load a laptop, I downloaded it. So hopefully no one tampered with it between now and then. I could file hash check it. Fair point. Yeah, I still haven't seen it. We have had all kinds of times when we've went through and watched machines shut down. We deal with it all the time. I don't see them crashing. Of course, I've never tried running on Hyper-V. I don't have any Linux VMs running in Hyper-V. So maybe there's some weird issue with Hyper-V. Well, it's not even loading. Weird. Why isn't it working? Doesn't really tell me. Interesting. Just install. Nope. What is the... Maybe I should install Kali. Yeah, unidentified file lock, blah, blah, blah. Let's restart it. Yeah, they do have, they just don't have the dock on the bottom. That's the part I was talking about. I know they have docks for them. They just don't have the bottom dock anymore. That's really what I probably, should have meant. I know they have docks for them. They have the USB-C docks, and it plugs in through the bottom. It snaps on the bottom to line it up, and then it connects through the little thing on the bottom. But yeah, I'm aware that they exist. It's just not the same as the docking stations they had before. So let's see here. Choose the CD again. Parrot. SATA controller. All right, that looks good. Tell it it's a solid state if that makes any difference at all. Maybe there's a bug in the installer. Last time it just installed. Terminal mode, fail safe. We'll just run through the install here. Standard installer. There we go. Let's just run through the installer here. HA proxy, maybe I'll do one eventually. I'll do an HA proxy one. Why would I try out PowerShell Hyper-V? I don't have a use case for that. I know they work together. I'm aware. Someone's like, there's some free version you can control from the command line. I've seen that. It doesn't, well, that's a problem. Tom. There we go. Eastern, it's fair enough. I have, say, 8 gig of RAM. You have 4 VirtualBox VM, 2 gig each running all. Won't be able to run any more machine because it reserves memory. KVM only takes what the machine's using. Yeah, but if the machine doesn't need it, why reserve it? So that's... yeah, we use LVM. Right, change disk, configure LVM. Absolutely. Yep. There we go. Now it's installing. Anyways, rate changes. Sure, why not? This will go fast. So, I just don't have an interest in running it for but that's the whole thing. Hyper-V is free, but what's my use case? What would compel me to take a system that doesn't have as many features as XCP-ng, is more difficult to use, and requires licenses for any of the more advanced features, or a big management interface, doesn't have all the, the full list of features you have? Why would I use it? Like, I like my life easier, not harder. So why would I want to build something in Hyper-V? XCP-ng, free. The management interface, free. All the advanced features, also free. Also open source. So, let's see. I had to pull a whole list of Hyper-V features. Host resource production VMs, PowerShell Direct, cluster rolling. Here's the problem. Where is this in terms of here's a simple one that I use a lot, that I know that it's expensive to do in VMware, and I don't think available at all in Proxmox. Delta backups for Delta synchronous. So, like, can I do Delta synchronization between VMs to keep a hot spare? So, yeah. That's one of them I use a lot. Yeah, I don't know. So Hyper-V versus VMware. Maybe someone has got a chart somewhere. Because I know VMware versus VirtualBox. Or VMware versus there. So Hyper-V checkpoints. So they both haven't. 64 change tracking. Running Windows can be a pain. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Hyper-V person, so I don't know if it's as pain as Windows. And I'm not trying to say Windows taints the whole product's, setup, but yeah. So Hyper-V, 12 terabytes for VMs, 1 terabyte for one VM, memory per number of virtual devices. So they're kind of neck and neck. And I know this is where I always get confused, because Server Essential Service, but I know they do have the free version, but it's like you got to jump through. It's never listed in places. That's always confusing to me. Backup to cloud, replication, recovery point objects, site recovery workflows. Yeah. Does anyone have like a clearer chart? SolarWinds has a write-up, but nothing. Limited guest OSs? I don't know. I mean, if you use it and it works for you, keep using it. I just don't have no plans to use it. I switched from Windows to Pop OS recently. My Surface runs 10 times faster. Yeah, it's this first part. It's a Windows thing. Let's see. This is a fun article one of my staff just sent. Microsoft broke its built-in antivirus thanks to a patch for a different issue. This is why we can't trust Windows stuff. Like, it's just people complain about open source, and we're seeing less problems in the major open source stuff. And I say major because I know there's always going to be some minor stuff that has issues, but that's a different topic. So I don't know. It is what it is. It's what keeps me busy. So. You know, it's use whatever you want. It's kind of what I tell some people. I'm hard to convince me to use something different unless there's a compelling reason, and like it has to have the killer feature that makes me like it that much better. So, CPU cores VM free version, and the list goes on. Like I said, it's a whole separate debate. So, and even here, I mean, I don't have a reason to try to run XCP-ng on here, or someone could point out you could run Cubes OS, blah, blah, blah. That all sounds like a lot of work. I'd rather just run VirtualBox on my desktop, XCP-ng on the back, because it just works. And I'm used to and very much enjoy the XCP-ng interface. I just think it works really well. It makes things easy to set up and easy to do. Matter of fact, what do we have running here? Whoops. Because I wanted to do some Untangle videos, and I updated the new Untangle firewall, and I just haven't, it's set up, it just hasn't been doing anything. It's turned off right now. I do have Parrot set up on here. Parrot works great on Tom's Parrot on Lab server. It works awesome here. It's quite fast on the new Lab server. It does do clustering delta changes if you set up storage space, but that does require PowerShell tuning to be good. In right now, let me show you because we're using this here. When you look at our continuous replication like this, automated, easy through a web interface in a couple seconds. I have a whole video on this. Here's my continuous replication to keep hot spares of our important VMs, like Invoice Ninja or Screen Connect. So the continuous replication feature is great. It's easy. It works well. I need to update my UniFi system too. Well, the camera system, they came out with a new one on there. Yeah, I mean, I have a Windows gaming machine, so that's kind of an obvious thing. But like I said, these little features here, working with the whole web interface, and very easily, because these represent, there are two pools here, the lab pool and this pool, and being able to just jump between them and move VMs between them kind of seamlessly through a web interface, or even on a schedule through a web interface, I kind of like it. I guess I'm a command line person who knows how to use a lot of command line things, but this is quite, an easy way to do it. Unlock that. And how's this one doing? Move that over here now. Hey, why not? Let's install Grub. I don't think anyone who really games uses Linux. I see you say that, but I know that the Linux gamer specifically has quite a few games that he plays all the time and uses Linux, and it works great for him. So, but you do have to have games that are supported on the different platforms. The list gets bigger all the time, which is awesome. So, yeah, there's a lot of games that run fine. So it depends if the game you play runs fine. So that's the whole. That's the whole thing. Does the game you like to play run on Linux? Then you can play games on it. That's what you have to decide. I know some of the games I like don't run on Linux. I have a Windows computer just for games at home. My son mostly uses it. Removing live packages, finishing the installation, magic here. Then we'll export it over and bring it over to my laptop, and I'll take it home on my laptop tonight. Is there any program to let me run Linux VM on my triple monitor setup? You could probably, and there's a way to do that inside of here. When you're setting up the displays, screen, there we go. Monitor count. I have 3 monitors, so please note I can add 3 monitors to this system here. We will block whoever this is. I've seen a couple of them on here. I wasn't sure, so we'll just block this person. You are removed. Is it remove or report? I don't know. Wow, that's interesting. This is new, and let me bring it into the screen. When I drop the ban hammer, unwanted commercial content, pornography, hate speech or graphic, harassment or bullying. I'm not even sure. Unwanted commercial content or spam. Child abuse is a new one on there. So that person's gone. I don't know what they're babbling about. It's a confused bot. It's a broken AI system. But yeah, you can hook up multiple monitors to the system like that. So what I showed you there will allow VirtualBox to spread it across all the monitors. Let's see. What do we got here? Going on a trip all the way. Greetings from Norway. Awesome. Now we gotta, I've never tried to see if the VirtualBox has, or Parrot OS has the right things for VirtualBox in terms of the drivers. We'll find out. Hey, thanks, Rich. Good to see you here. Rich Brady says, been following for a while. Thanks for the great content. This. I don't know what this person's trying to do. This person is going to be gone. Put user in time. I don't know what the person's trying to do. We'll make him go away. And my comment got deleted. I don't. We'll figure that out. Would you recommend buying an XCPNG support? If you need it, buy it. That's my attitude. If you need it, buy it. That's like any of the support packages. This is actually one of those things that I don't have a good answer for either. Everyone tells me like UniFi support's not amazing. And I'm like, I have 0 times, and we have done tons of installs, and I have 0 times used UniFi support. I've never gone any further than looking in the forums. There's barely any posts I've even done in the forums. So I'm not really sure. There we go. So I don't know. If you need the support, then yes. I've not needed it, so I've never bought it. I know now what I have known from people that have is their support's top notch over at XCPNG. So if you do buy the support packages from them, they're great. Oliver Lambert and I think that's his name. Their team is really good. That's one of the things that's making XC. See, any project, one of the lifebloods of the project or what makes it survive or not is going to be how good is their support. Their support's really good. That project is taking off and doing really well because the project is doing so well. And because the project is doing so well because of their support. That is what's helped being a big driver of more and more people getting into XCPNG. Don't buy a Cloud Key Gen 1. I seen someone post that, so. And here's the thing, if you're, people ask me this question about that. I seen someone else post about running Hyper-V. What is the job or field you're going into? Do you need to be an expert in it? It's sometimes hard to be an expert in everything. I do VMware. I've actually done quite a few clients of VMware just because, well, it's a big project out there. Oddly, I've had very few requests even asked of me for Hyper-V, and I'll farm that out to another contractor. It's not that we won't do it as a company, it's just that I don't do it. XCPNG I've used a lot, and I've never had a problem with both of them. And I started out in VMware. But should you learn VMware, for example, if you're going to get a job in that field? Well, of course. It's if you're going to say my goal is to get a job at a company that has VMware, or my company has a massive farm of VMware stuff, you should probably learn VMware if they don't plan on changing it. And if they do plan on changing it, because we met with a company doing this, they're switching everything over to Proxmox, then learn Proxmox. Because if that's the plan where you want to go, it's kind of go figure out where you want to go with things. I have the luxury of owning the company, so I get to decide the direction, and I decided XCPNG was my direction. So it's not that I hate the other products. I settled on a product, I should say. And unless there's a compelling reason not to use it because of security, stability, or it just doesn't work right, and it lacks features, then I'm not going to shift away from it. This is a easy, logical way to think about it. Yeah, the Gen 1 is just, it's a little bit too slow. It's dated for Gen 1 in terms of the UniFi Cloud Key. Definitely get a Gen 2. They've made dramatic improvements in there, so. Let's see. Yes, Uncle Joe's got some good, Uncle Joe's Playhouse got some videos too, so definitely go check him out. Click on his link, follow him, and you can find Uncle Joe's Playhouse channel. I wish Zen Orchestra looked nicer. It looks like a UI design, and I can't. I think I like the look of it, but that's an aesthetics thing. So, yeah, I don't think they should sell the UniFi Gen 1 anymore. I think that should be retired. It's just not a fast system. It's not great. So that's one of the challenges with it. It's just not wonderful. So let's see. Can we can change the background. I don't care about that. Preferences. Displays. Can I bump the res on this? Oh, I can. 1280, 768 looks good. Oh, that's much better. Keep this configuration. I don't need it full screen. I just need more. That's enough more for what I'm going to do. Because I'll probably end up installing X2Go on this. Because once I have X2Go, that will be the ideal way I'll have this set up. So X2Go on here, and that way I can leave my laptop on if I need to and be able to access it wherever it is. So. Proxmox solves the need for a VM or a Windows-only app. Yeah, Proxmox is a solid product as well. It's not bad. Like I said, I don't have any problem. I have friends that run a lot of Proxmox stuff, and they seem happy with it, so. So that kind of might be a simple way to do it. What else is in my list of things I was going to talk about? I say that because I'm getting forgetful. This is taking way longer to load than I expected. It's mostly just because it's not downloading as fast. Look at this. Look how slow these downloads are happening. They're just, it's only a minute remaining, but it's not that fast. How's the Tesla? The Tesla is still fun. What we're going to say here. I have a... Oh, stupid picture. Trying to find another photo of it. I don't have... Oh, there it is. So I didn't post this anywhere else but here, so it might be fun to laugh about. My neighbor's I got a new neighbor, and there's my Tesla compared to my new neighbor's car or truck. So, so I just got a kick out of this because I'm like, he's actually pretty cool. He likes the Tesla. I took him for a ride in it. He's still finishing this truck, so it's not street ready. So we didn't go for a ride in the truck yet, but we're gonna trade. The truck is stupid huge. It's up in his driveway right now, man. I had to pull my car up for scale just to that's my neighbor's car. He's pretty cool. He's a new neighbor, so he's all right. So that's Tesla's doing well. I have a few more Tesla videos I want to do, kind of update on some details related to it. We did another road trip in it. There hasn't been any issues, but one of the things I wanted to cover is going to be this little piece of paper here. People ask how much it costs. The number on here, this is the actual Tesla papers. So the car was $52,951. And I bring that up because a lot of people say, well, how much is it? And I'm going to do some details on there because there's a lot of confusion about the price of a Tesla. First, a lot of people always assume they're expensive. Then other people are like, I thought they had a model that cost this. And I have my reasons and economics for why I bought the one I have. So That's, to me, I mean, the average price of a car in the U.S. the average is right now, I think, 37,000. So Tesla being 52,000 out the door, that's tax, title, everything, like all the little fees that they hack on. To me, that's not that uneconomical for a car. Yeah, it's above average for a cost, but it's not eccentric for a cost, especially for the value and performance that you get out of the vehicle. So it's, yeah. Teslas are not one of the most expensive cars to insure. They are probably a little bit more, but that you have to find the right insurance agency. So the insurance agency I was with was unable to, well, not unable, unreasonable to insure it. So I had to switch insurance agencies or insurance providers coverage. And I'm paying on my insurance is about $40 or $30 more a month than my wife's Jeep. So it's not it's more expensive, but I think, and it's been a while, I don't remember how much I used to pay. I used to have a BMW Model 5 Series BMW. I think it's a 5 Series. Anyways, it's in line with what that car was for insurance. So they are a little bit more, but they're also a little bit more expensive a car. So they're by far not the most expensive car to insure. But yeah, they do. There's going to be a little bit of a hit on that. But 300 miles on a Tesla costs me about $8 in electricity. Well, if I charge off peak, I think it's down to $6 to go 300 miles. It's not immediately a clear savings versus a gasoline vehicle, but it becomes one if you drive a lot of miles. So how much do you save? If you're someone who never spent money on fuel because you didn't drive much, well, then you're not saving much. But if you're someone like me who puts a reasonable amount of miles on a car, maybe about $20,000 a year or 20,000 miles a year, well, now you're talking someone who saves a lot of money in fuel. So yeah, so there's definitely there's a lot of economics to it. So I'm going to put another video together about that, because it's kind of like the economics of buying a Tesla. And one of my friends, he took a really good job. He got a wonderful pay raise. He makes like 40% more money at his new job, but it does require him to drive 30 miles each way to work. So he's looking, actually his wife messaged me today, and because they were asking about how much my Tesla was, and it's going to be it's kind of a, what do you call it? It's one of those cost savings. Like, it's going to cost him more now up front, but a lot less later, because he's just going to save in fuel. And it's going to be free for him to charge, because the other thing that's driving this, his new office, the parking garage has a bunch of free EV chargers. So he'll literally not have to pay for electricity. It just comes with his parking. So if you drive an EV where he parks at work, he charges it every day at work for free. So he'll literally have no more fuel bill to drive every day back and forth to work. So the car, they're just going, okay, how much is it up front? But we're going to save on the back end because he works 5 and 6 days a week. So let's see. What do you do when there's no charger available? You're screwed. That's short answer. If you go somewhere like North Dakota, and this is a valid question. If we go to Tesla and we go /super, is it, or is it charging? They have all the superchargers listed. Nope, not here. Where is their superchargers? Huh. I guess it's just down further. I didn't scroll. So there's superchargers everywhere, except, so I can drive across the U.S. I can drive to Canada. I can drive to Vancouver. I could easily plan a trip anywhere except for one state. This state here. There's a lack of charging places in this state. There's just, I don't know, North Dakota got skipped. But there's not really many people in North Dakota. There's nobody lives there.
Not a real place.
North Dakota's not a real place. We were actually laughing. My son, we were talking about that, and we're like, there are more people. There are substantially more people where we live here in Wayne County, Michigan. Just the county, just this little area that I'm in. This little area has a greater population than North Dakota. So that's definitely something to think about. Anyways, why am I setting this up in here? What's the benefit? that's actually a fair question as well. The reason I'm setting this up, for those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the stream, we're going to go ahead and restart this now. I want a VirtualBox installed because I want it on my laptop. And my laptop, why is it there? Well, it's portable, and I can take it places to do a pen test, to do some testing. So I built it here because, well, I didn't feel like not being in my office to do the stream, and my computer here is substantially faster than my laptop. So what we're doing is we're loading the VirtualBox, getting it configured with Parrot Sec, and I'll tweak it with some of the things that I want. And then when I'm done, I'll just export the file into a file over on my laptop, and away we go. So, the charging stuff doesn't matter on a Tesla. You're thinking of it wrong. So you don't fill it up like you do a gas station. You just, I have a charger here at my office. I park it when I get here in the morning, and I only charge every couple days. I plug it in for a few hours, and it charges at 37 miles per hour. Done. It doesn't take long. It takes a few hours, even if I run it really low on miles, and I'm back up to a 300-mile potential range. So it's not like you have to think about the charging or think about where to take it. Matter of fact, I never really stop at the superchargers, with the exception of when I'm on a road trip. Only time I stop at a supercharger. There we go. So now the system is all up to date. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to add to it. Let me see if there's any more upgrades for it. See, I don't really use a UI at all inside of XCPNG. Like this is just when I look at, actually let me close this, I have it open over here. I never look at this. So this is mostly just to know that it exists, but I don't really use it. The way I actually use it is always going to be through things like X2Go. So right here is like my lab server running it, and we're going to open up X2Go. It's on there, so let's see. What's the IP address? 173. Edit this one. So it got a new IP address because it's got a new MAC address. Hit OK. This is how I manage Parrot. So I don't ever look at it through XCPNG. I'm currently looking at it through X2Go. Might hit a little smaller. So because I'm working in X2Go here with it, which makes a big difference. It's nice, it's responsive, it's fast. I'm never using ever the UI that comes with there. Matter of fact, this makes it easier to make it full screen and get things done. And of course, I can log in and out here, suspend my X2Go session or log out of my X2Go session. So I can do this, set things up, get the UI running. And matter of fact, then when I go back home, even if I kicked off something running here, shut down my computer because this is running on the server in the back. When I go home, I just VPN back in and jump on X2Go, and I'm right back where I left off. So I can, if I have something I wanted to run, you know, some type of tool, if I wanted to do some testing with something, can do all that right here and do it all inside of X2Go. So I'm never ever using the UI from inside of XCPNG. Log out time. So this is how I access it, never through, I mean, this, like I said, this to me is just a see, look, it's running, and then I just leave it sitting at this screen. I never even log it in through here. Yeah, you're worried about range on the Tesla, but I don't worry about the range, and I certainly don't worry about racing people because one, and there's this guy the other day, I just laughed. So this guy was in front of me the other day, and I knew I seen it. I says, oh, okay. One bad 4V. It's like, okay, cool. Got the Cobra. Let's race. And after I beat him 3 times in a row, he gave me the finger. You can't. It's funny because Xavier drove my test. I see he's in here now. He'll tell you, man, and I don't even have the performance model. It will spank a Mustang all day. Let's see. Emmanuel, the Parrot is, you have to play a lot with the kernel if you run it on real hardware. So you'll run into a bunch of weird little issues like that. That's just part of tweaking it when you run it on raw hardware. It runs great in virtual, but that's definitely an issue for running on hardware. Check the forums, set up Debian VMs on XCPNG. I've never had a problem with Debian VMs on XCPNG. They've always just worked flawlessly. Do you use Zero Tier for the VPN? I've played with it. I usually use OpenVPN because it's still faster. Zero Tier is cool. It's not as fast as OpenVPN. There's no way around that. Can FreeNAS run on Ryzen? Far as I know, I've never looked. There is in their forums called Will It FreeNAS. So if you go over to the build discussions, this is where that question is better asked. There are lots of people doing different things, including there. So. Yeah, like Xavier said, scary fast for under 100K. So it's pretty, yeah. You can, David. You said I use Zero Tier, small company, and I hope they do. You can compile it yourself. You just got to build the source code. You can tell it it's all open source. You can build your own planets and set it all up. You do not need their servers. So. That's you can do that with Zero Tier. Hopefully that helps. Oh, this person's back. How do you? All right, there we go. That person's gone now. That was making the noise. Yeah, Zero Tier can be slower because of the way it's working. So, it's, yeah. OpenVPN, though, is solid, straight connection. OpenVPN is just going to be faster by the nature of the method by which it works. It's a fully routable VPN. As long as you have a reasonably fast system, it works wonderful. That's, it's solid, reliable. There's no third party. My end here is, of course, static. You would assume UDP hole punching and make it faster, but that's a whole different different thing. It's not going to be faster. Yeah, UDP is weird like that. And maybe I'll do some more comparisons. I like Zero Tier. Zero Tier certainly, especially when you have, we had a client that used it for, they had a unique use case. He seemed to get a bunch of data moved around all their stores. They kept setting up stores. They didn't want to, because they needed a low bandwidth type solution. As a matter of fact, I have another client that has another low bandwidth monitoring system he's looking at it for, because they use all kinds of really basic connections at remote locations. And it's low bandwidth. He just needs some basic, almost like text level stats to get from the client's network to their systems for data aggregation. They're not relying on real time. They're not relying on high speed. They need kilobits of data every couple hours to monitor a series of machines. And they're looking at Zero Tier as a solution. I think it's really clever. It would be able to solve all those little networking issues they run into when they have to put these monitoring machines in these commercial factories and have a hostile environment. UDP hole punching seems to just kind of walk right through it and get the data back out for them, and it works really well. And it doesn't require them to have any knowledge, because he can bake it into his product, because his product is a machine he ships them that they just plug the data feed into, and the machine needs a network interface. That way he don't care what IP it has assigned to it. It goes through in Zero Tiers. He's looking at it as a solution. It's one of my clients we've done some consulting with. So, do you have any experience with USG, VPN, and Linux? I don't even want experience with the USG VPN links. It's all command line. I don't feel like managing the command line on a USG VPN that may break anyways. It's just not UniFi's own answer. We don't support it. It's all unofficial, so it's a tinker thing at that point. So if you want to do VPN, I don't recommend a USG unless you're doing site to site. They do that really well. Outside of the site to site, they just, yeah. Client doesn't open ports in a public IP. 0 tier is perfect for that. Yeah, and if you don't have some type of real time thing on there, it works great. So what else are we doing? Oh, this is still running. Close that. We got this here. This looks good. The following automatically installed no longer required. So we can do sudo apt-get purge. Get rid of this crap we don't need. Yeah, OpenVPN it's solid. I know people like WireGuard. WireGuard's pretty cool. I don't know anything wrong with it other than it's not widespread supported yet. So that's one of those, if you want to use WireGuard, it might be a little bit faster on the same hardware, but it's also not as widespread support. OpenVPN just works. It's well supported. It's well documented. It's been very thoroughly by 2 separate companies, gone through a solid code audit and a code review. So OpenVPN to me is a pretty trustworthy protocol. And oddly enough, Microsoft has built in and added to the upstream of OpenVPN some new, what do you call that? Quantum proof code into it, so that's really cool. Look for my Ryzen build. I don't remember the motherboard exactly. It's a gigabyte something, but all the details of my Ryzen build are in there. And matter of fact, here I do know we can do this because I'll just drop this link in here for the in there. So view profile. So there you go. Just go on Kit. We have anything for different stuff we're doing. We have a review coming up of a 3D printer, the studio parts list. Here's the build parts list. So all the stuff that we do in here, even the Tesla stuff, is all on our Kit page. That's also linked in all the descriptions as well. I don't see, ParrotSec doesn't work for everything. For example, it doesn't work well for me for video editing. That's why I built this VM. So I'm back to Pop OS on my laptop, and I'm running Pop OS on my desktop here. That's what works for me. I like Pop OS quite a bit. So I have several videos on how to do OpenVPN servers. Go to my YouTube channel, search for OpenVPN, or even put the word server, and you'll find all kinds of videos I've done on it. Oh, cool. So you got the Microtik one. I might review it at some time, but I don't have a need for it. And Chris reviewed it, and so did Craft, the Craft Computing. He reviewed it. So there's a few reviews out there. It seems to do what it says. It routes at 10 gigabit with SFP+. That's perfect. If that's what you're looking for. So if those are your use cases, then get it. I just don't know what I would do with it if I bought it, and my review wouldn't be any more than, you know what I mean. I wouldn't know what to do with it when I'm done with it. Going, hey, look, it does the same thing Chris said it did. I mean, I sometimes feel awkward doing a video that if I have nothing better to add to the conversation, then I'm not sure why I should review it. Like, that's kind of my feelings on some of the videos. Like, someone asks me to do it, I'm like, I have no more value to add. I have no insight that doesn't oppose their view. I can just say, I agree with Chris. Good thing. Or, that's how some of them are. I'm not, it's one of those things. So, group start. Let's see, where's the export option? Oh, I was wondering when they were going to do that. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. We're going to make an OVA. So ParrotSec, where is it going to go? Documents. And that's not where I want it to go. So we'll send over NVMe. Dot OVA. Save. Now, this is an interesting, I don't know if this is true, so maybe if there's a Proxmox fan in here. Does Proxmox have the ability yet to import-export OVA files? I think that was one of the hangups on there. It uses QEMU and doesn't have any native in the UI for converting it, so. We bought a motherboard that was already up to date, so it supported AMD boot out of the box. It was already, and we always make sure, because by the way, if you're not familiar with this, you can update the firmware on the motherboards without even an OS on them. They copied before we even loaded it, we copied the firmware to a USB drive. You go in the BIOS, you say, hey, look at the firmware on the USB drive and put the latest firmware in, so. Okay, so Proxmox can't export them. This is something I remember being kind of a little bit of a hang up, because I like, if you notice my backups of all the OVA files, it's kind of nice to have. I thought that was an odd thing, not being able to easily do this. And this is something that VirtualBox, XCP-ng, and VMware all support, is exporting things into open virtualization formats as one single file. So it makes it really easy to grab them. And I can download OVAs from a lot of places, like pre-built VMs for things that are, even if they're designed for VMware, other than sometimes a network change inside the VM itself, if it doesn't have an auto-detecting network, it will import into both VirtualBox or XCP-ng. Yeah, I mean, you have to buy one that works together, so that's, yeah. So buying a processor and board that works together, that makes a difference. And if you don't want to deal with things like that, that's easy too. Just buy something that works already out of the box. Go to, you know, and I talked about that in my video, and I do like System 76. Matter of fact, you know what I really like more than anything else? I gotta admit, they have the damn best ordering system ever. So let's buy, well, let's go back, because we were talking Ryzen here. Let's design and buy a Ryzen. So what do we want? We want the AMD Ryzen. We want the high contrast, why not? We want Pop OS 64. We want the 4.6 gigahertz. We want the 32 gigs of RAM. We want a 2 terabyte NVMe. Let's go with, what else do we have here? 2 terabyte SSD for storage. Hey, that makes sense. Go for the full 650 watt. Go for the really high-end one. Oh, we want dual 27s. Let's get some speakers. Nice keyboard. 3-year warranty. There we go. $5,400. I like how easy their site is. If we wanted to swap to a different graphics card, the price dropped and we chose a different graphics card. Like, they have a beautiful thing. Also, it's out of the box going to work. So if you don't want to deal with any tinkering, and I get it. I was actually, one of the gaming people that my kids watch, you know, they were talking about it, how they don't want to deal with it. They just want a box that works. That's why they order completely built gaming systems instead of going and buying and building yourself. This is the reason System 76 does really well. If you don't want to tinker with BIOS settings, you don't want to play with compatibilities or whatever, especially with Linux, you get something from these people who will give you a machine that is actually a great machine. That's really well built. It's going to be spec'd. They're going to test it. They're going to already have Linux loaded. They're going to have all the firmware update, and that's what you pay for. Because I hate when people look at this, I could build it cheaper myself. Well, no kidding. You're getting service and support and a completely built system. That's the value that they add to it. So it depends on your use case. So yeah, send it to my house. I love the way they have this ordering system. Like, they've just done a great job of whether you want a laptop, one of their servers, anything you want to get from them is just easy to order. And I reviewed, like I said, their laptop, and it's nice. It's a really nice laptop. I like that the picture here, I'm going to point out, even though they debranded it, this is a Model 3. So I thought that was kind of novel. This is, that's like the screen in my Model 3. So let's see what else we have here. Oh, let's just look at one of their laptops. Well, not that one. I think this is the one I actually reviewed. But it's, this, you know, we'll go here, design and buy. Same thing. Pick your OS. Doesn't have many options in here. How much memory you want. We'll go with 16, 2 terabyte, etc., etc. What if you want a laptop bag with it, and away you go. Like I said, they make a solid product. I have nothing against them. I just really like the ThinkPad. I really struggled. I wanted to buy this. I ended up going with the ThinkPad. I don't know. It was tough. And right away, of course, my own aggravation is, oh, crap, the trackpad doesn't work. Okay, I got to add a command line to grub. Of course, I'm fine to do that. It didn't take me long to fix, and I'm fine to deal with problems like that. That's not a big deal. But that's not a big deal to me. Other people, especially if you're just learning, they're going, that's, yeah. That could be a challenge because you don't want your first challenge to be, I've never done Linux before. Let me dive into an advanced problem where I have to pass a kernel parameter around. That does not necessarily give you a good experience with it. And I do recommend to people if you want the absolute compatibility, and you can look. There's also Ubuntu certified laptops. Ubuntu keeps a list of certified laptops that are absolutely compatible without any playing around. So. Now, even Dell's shipping, is it Dell? Where's it at? Dell.com. I think you can just put /Linux now. There we go. And you can buy from Dell, too, right here. Right out of the box, Dell XPS 13, and they come with Ubuntu on them. It's Dell.com/Linux will jump you right to all their Linux line of laptops, Precision ones. They come preloaded, including these. These have Ubuntu on them or Red Hat. You get the different options. So they're out of the box, right from Dell, gonna have Linux on them, and they're supported. Even if you say, I don't trust Dell's load of Linux, you can reload it because you already know at least Linux works. You'll be able to boot it up, verify Linux works, and load whatever distro you want. So it's kind of nice. And this is because Linux is becoming that much more mainstream. So in the development world, massive amounts of developers use Linux every day. It's becoming the alternative because not everyone has been as thrilled as where Mac has been going with things. And Mac has dominated the development world for a long time. And we're seeing more people move over. Xavier just caught that. We're seeing more people, developers, pen testers, all wanting to run Linux right from the rip. And especially if your job is a really busy application or pen tester, you don't necessarily have time to dink with hardware and get it all working. You're like, I want to get stuff done. Part of the reason I'm building up my lab, and I'll mention it because Xavier's in here, and it's been a little hectic for me. Hopefully I have a meeting tonight that's going to lessen some of the hecticness. But the goal is to have a lab built here because I'm good at all this hardware, and then I'm going to turn it over to Xavier to do his thing because he wants to poke at it. And I'm going to set up some VMs for him. We have the system stacked here, and this saves any of Xavier spending time on getting hardware set up so he can build his lab. He can jump right into the lab work that he's really talented at and, focus on different pen testing ideas, different scenarios. And, it's fun to have a lab. So, yeah, so it's being busy tough, but we're redoing the VPN here, Xavier. So I think we're almost to that part of it because we're segmenting our network to keep it very, pieced out for this lab that we're building. That's the labs for everyone. I actually have an idea of building. I have a kind of a bigger vision I'm thinking about because I know there's other companies that probably do this, but I don't know much about them. And I'm like, why not? I have a lot of hardware. I get access to a lot of hardware and turn it to, lab as a service and be able to say, hey guys, you can log into here and test out some of these things that we have because we have equipment sent to us by people sometimes that, I want to test. So it's kind of an idea I've had where why not use some of this hardware and I can run the lab with some of the sponsors because in the end, if you go, hey, this works, and one of our sponsors is Tech Supply Direct, I'm like, cool, this scenario works. Reach out to Tech Supply Direct and they'll get you a machine shipped like this. I've actually talked to them. They like the idea a lot. So those are some of the stuff we're going to talk about, being able to test some of these things out. It's a bigger vision I have. It's not as easy to pull off. It's going to require me to focus on it, but I think it's pretty cool and might be a fun idea to do. Not designed to be Hackintoshed. Yeah, Kali, Mac OS 10, Ubuntu 18 OS. Yeah. Serve the Home does some lab as a service stuff. You might look at the way they've done. I like Serve the Home. I've never really looked at their lab stuff. They do a lot of awesome reviews. They have, how does their, is it here? They've got like buyers. I know they test all kinds of cool stuff. I like their forums. Everything else is great. They're excellent site for sure. The buyer's guide. Is there option? Where do I find their lab stuff? Like, do they lab things out as a service? I don't see it. I'm assuming this is a site you're talking about. They've been around for a while. They, like I said, they have some wonderful articles and they review a lot of stuff. So, oh, let's see. Yeah, Mac might switch to ARM. Everyone's looking at these. I mean, I'm really excited about when I see all these different, like the new Pinebook and things like that. I think the new ARM stuff is going to be really popular for a lot of reasons. One of them is low power. So it takes less electricity to run an ARM, and things like this are going to only make it that much more popular. You can build these. Look at the Raspberry Pi; it's really pushed the level forward. So why not build Raspberry Pi into a basic laptop for people who only need certain simple things done? I think there's going to be a lot more things going on in that market. It's a different architecture, and once again, this is certainly Linux driven for sure. So I think it's going to be really interesting. Do we want Linus dropping Tom's hardware? Yeah. That would be fun. Armsploits. Yeah. Dude, there's going to be some fun play on words. What if you're flexing on the armsploits? I mean, come on, you're flexing the arms? No? No? It's bad. There's some bad jokes in there for sure, I know. Yeah, so that's gonna be a thing. This is backed up. How big is our VM now? That's the next question. So let's pull this window over here. And I do have to get going soon. I gotta take my son somewhere. So I'm gonna be okay, not too big. We got 6 gigs. So there's that OVA file. And I just take the 6 gig OVA file, copy it over to my laptop, and now I have Parrot OS all set up, configured, and up to date. Well, there's more configuration I'm going to do with it, but I'll do that later. So that's not a big deal. Pizza time. Yes. I am going to get winding this down. Please, before all of you leave, can you click the like button, smash it? Oh, awesome. Hank, thank you. Hey, let's see, Hank from HLE Computer Consulting, thank you for the $20. Tom, you do a great job. Appreciate all your hard work and effort, keeping us all informed about security and other great topics. Yes, thank you very much. Awesome. I do appreciate that. I want to do more videos, which I do a lot, but I think I can still do more. But I have to organize things a little bit differently around me so I can focus better. Sometimes my day gets split up. Like yesterday, I was out of the office most of the day. I recorded what I did for that day. So there's going to be an partial offsite video. I just haven't edited it. But it's one of those things where a series of, I'm not going to say unfortunate because they were fortunate events and things like that. Thumbs down. That's funny. But there's a series of things sometimes when it comes to sales and process because the YouTube, and I've shared exactly how much I make on YouTube, but I will tell you what I make on YouTube does not make payroll. So that's why I have to do all the other businessy things that I do to keep my business rolling forward and expanding and growing. And when you grow a business, it grows in steps and tiers. So you go, all right, we're making this much money. And that seems good, but then you have to make this much more because then you got to hire someone, which means that next hire makes you make this much money again, but you're hoping they will create and generate enough revenue value and close some sales to get that revenue tiered up further so you can then hire the next person. It's kind of a step, and I think the best business teaching is any type of real-time strategy with a lot of resource management in it. Games like that, I think, can teach you a lot about business because they work the same way. They are a absolutely massive aspect of it. When you think about it, it's the same thing. It's resource management, time management, going, what resources do I put? I need these many people to build this. That same concept applies directly to business. So I think if you get good or become good at any type of game that has resource management, like a real-time strategy game that has that, you can also be good at business. I think that's a skill, at least that aspect of business, the growth and management side, but you also have to be good at processes and playing in those defined roles. Hey, Steve, can you do me a favor? Bring me my laptop back.
Okay. The Microsoft one?
Yeah. I need the USB thing out of it. PC Building Simulator. Yeah, I don't know if PC Building. I've never used it. I don't know if it's as real as it is the thing goes.
To see you when you're done, though.
Okay, cool. I'm almost done.
So we can finish up that thing.
Oh, cool. I got this. I got this guy here. The SanDisk. So let me plug this in. So I got to copy some files to it. And let's see how fast it'll copy Parrot over to it. So, and by the way, if you didn't know, everything, even my USBs are encrypted. See if I got the password right to this one. Find out. I did. Look at this. So now let's go over here. Encrypt all the things. That is my motto. So go to backup. How fast will that transfer? That's not bad. What do we get? 500 megs a second. So all of my stuff, all my stuff is Lux encryption. I have a video on Lux encryption. It's super solid. Highly recommend it. That's what I do for pretty much all of it. So yeah, everything. As a matter of fact, even the stuff that's in this particular backup here, these OVAs, if you try to boot them, they're also Lux encrypted. So someone would unravel yet another layer if they were to grab some of these OVA files on there, because I encrypt all of them. So, but I have a whole video on Lux encryption. It's great. It's very solid. And I like that little backup thing. Now, as fast as that is, the SSD one, the NVMe one is even faster. So like I said, I got to do a video on that particular topic. But I like these. These are solid things to have for backups. Well, is there anything else for the good of the class? Is there anything else? Yes, a password to protect my password protected files. Is there anything else for the good of the class that I can answer before I leave here in the next couple minutes? I got a 1 gigabit fiber to the home connect. I'm looking for something to monitor outgoing and incoming traffic that's just throughput, nothing too advanced. That's a loaded question to monitor it. pfSense has monitoring in it, so if you use pfSense, you can turn monitoring on. So, CryptoLocker. Yeah, that's. That's really popular. I don't know if it's a good idea. I think Kyle posted that. So is there anything else? Bonding and insurance. Ooh, that might not be a bad idea. So, but yeah, that's probably not a horrible idea to talk about bonding and insurance. I have some more of those type of videos coming up. I have some more sales videos coming up too. So that's the one I did yesterday because I was on site doing sales. So I made a video about sales and how we get leads. So another video about that. So, well, that's it, everyone. Before you leave, before I hit the end stream, click the like button. If you're watching this in post, you can still click the like button. That is very helpful to the channel. It makes everything fix. Request SolarWinds MSP document backup feed. The document backup I don't care for as much. We use only the full. The problem with the document backup is it's too specific. It's just what it sounds like. Document only with a short list of types of documents it supports. So that's my review of it. Use it if it's okay, but then you run into the problem with people go, but I had this file and I thought it was backed up. No, it's not in the list. So make sure that if you like the SolarWinds document backup, make sure it's a file in the list. That's what's important. So that's my warning with it. We prefer full backups because that way we solve the problem of I saved that file in a stupid place, but it didn't back it up. Yeah, people do that. People are a problem. That's why full backups are so much better. So yeah, document only, not QBW. So that's definitely Chrome Remote Desktop. I have an old video on it. I need to do a new video. Chrome Remote Desktop's awesome. Use it, yes. So it's really cool. I think you have to have a Gmail account. So fair warning for those of you that hate Google. Zero tier RDP, it's kind of slow. Yep, same impression. You weren't missing anything, Mr. Harrison Ward. You were not missing anything. So, anyways, I hear woo woo starting next door. The Zumba people are starting to Zumba. So I'm going to take off before I get a copyright strike for whatever weird music she chooses to play that bleeds through this microphone. So thanks for joining me. Hang out in our forums if you haven't, and you'll notice I spend a lot of time there. So that's at forums.lawrencesystems.com, where I visit frequently. And if you look, I'm a madman about posting. So let's find LTS Tom. Activity. I post a lot. So I try to reply to everybody unless they're posting gibberish, then I may not reply. But you can see I post a lot of things in here. So join us over in the forums and see you guys sometime. Maybe we'll do another pre-show. Depends on Xavier's time frame. But thank you very much. Have a great day. I am out of here, ending the stream. Oh, we also updated all of our sponsor stuff. So did my mouse just die? Oh, just went over there. It just paused for a second. Weird. All right. Thanks.